because it's off balance. It's the opposite of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us like. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us sleep during the night, wake and work and study during the day. So the need for sleep during the night is real important. And people who work in the night, during the night, and sleep during the day, they're not getting the same results from sleep, and they're not getting recovered enough, and they're not getting healthy enough, and they tend to have lots of illnesses such as high blood pressure, which cause them a lot of problem in their life because of that. That's just an example. طيب. وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا. وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا. This ayah is an evidence that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the sky 7 levels. سبعا. واحد اثنان ثلاثة أربعة خمسة ستة سبعة. 7 levels, 7 skies. Shidada, basically perfectly made. Imagine there is 7 skies above us and it's not falling on us, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it perfect. It doesn't have any cracks or areas that are leaning a bit or falling. No, it's perfect. 7 skies that are perfect by the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَجَعَلْنَا سِرَاجًا وَهَّاجًا. وَجَعَلْنَا سِرَاجًا وَهَّاجًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the sun that is bright, that is shining with light. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful with us that if just the sun disappear, we will freeze to death. Because earth and all creation on it needs that warmth that comes from the sun and the light that comes from the sun to continue living. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that, and we have created the sun and we made it a bright, beautiful, strong light that provides basically light and warmth to you and all creation on this earth. وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا. وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا. المعصرات is basically the cloud when they're filled with moisture prior to raining. When they're dark in color, they're filled in moisture and prior to raining. Thijaja is when water pour, when you have a downpour, when you have heavy rain, filled with water. What does it do? Usually it causes sometimes floods, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, if it's a punishment, or some nice rivers to run and water the earth and plants and animals by the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the generosity of the water that comes with from the filled cloud and it comes downpour? لِنُخْرِجَ بِهِ حَبًّا وَنَبَاتًا. لِنُخْرِجَ بِهِ حَبًّا وَنَبَاتًا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can allow the seeds of the grains and the plants to actually grow and come out. So habban is the grain that we consume and some animal consume. Nabata is basically all plants, whether they are grass for the animals or wheat or whatever it is, or just plants and trees and fruits and vegetables that we feed from. وَجَنَّاتٍ أَلْفَافًا. And beautiful gardens that are thick and condensed, filled with trees, forest-like. Basically have all the type of fruits that we need by the barakah and by the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after telling us in this beautiful surah that Quraysh basically were not convinced of Islam and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Quran and the Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about it, then proved it. Then He provided us with all the generosity and creation He created to help us out through this life and make it easy. Then now He's telling us about the Day of Judgment and the proof again, trying to prove to them that I've given you all that and I am able to make the Day of Judgment happen by saying, إِنَّ يَوْمَ الْفَصْلِ كَانَ مِيقَاتًا. إِنَّ يَوْمَ الْفَصْلِ كَانَ مِيقَاتًا. The Day of Judgment is a miqat. Basically, it's a specific time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have chosen to do. And fasl, yani separate. It judges the people. Basically, to separate the good from the bad. And then get either the reward or the punishment according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will. طيب. يوم ينفخ في الصور فتأتون أفواجا. فتأتون أفواجا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the Day of Judgment, when it begins, or how it's going to begin, is that when Israfil alayhi salam, the angel who's in charge of blowing in the trumpet-like instrument, basically, once he blow in that, for the first one, we're going to all die. Anybody who's alive at that moment, they're going to die completely, all of them. Then the second one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will recreate us again to start and march for the beginning of the day of judgment. So we can actually go start walking toward the area where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to judge us in. وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا. وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا. The signs of the hours during the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to open the sky for the angels when they're descending in it, and it will be just like open doors. Just like open doors. So the sky that you see now will no longer be. It will be completely different. It will be falling apart. وسيرت الجبال فكانت سرابا. وسيرت الجبال فكانت سرابا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the mountains come out and basically get shattered and explode into small pieces. It will almost like float in the air. It will be light, unlike it now when it's heavy and holding the earth. It will be useless. It will be actually floating in the air. It will be, extracted from its area. And it will look like an illusion. Just like, small pieces flying all over, floating all over. إن جهنم كانت مرصادا. إن جهنم كانت مرصادا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Jahannam is basically have all the angels in it waiting for the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to throw the kuffar in it and start the punishment for the non-believer and the hypocrite and the sinners وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ in Jahannam. It will be where they get thrown in it. لِلطَّاغِينَ مَآبًا. لِلطَّاغِينَ مَآبًا. For those who are criminal and for those who were arrogant and ignorant and those who did not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or His religion or the Prophet, it would be a final destination for them. It would be their home. It would be their destiny. It would be the area where they end for eternity. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ لَابِثِينَ فِيهَا أَحْقَابًا. It means they're going to stay in Jahannam for years and years and years, for time and time and time, for a long period of time. And for the sinner, it will be a real long time until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mercy them and grant them the mercy in the end and take them out. For the kuffar and the hypocrite and for the mushrikeen, they will be in it for good, for eternity, forever. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ لَا يَذُوقُونَ فِيهَا بَرْدًا وَلَا شَرَابًا. In Jahannam, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, the people who are in it, they don't have any coolness or breathe or air to enjoy and relax in. وَلَا شَرَابًا. And they don't get any drinks, anything to cool them off, anything so they can enjoy, anything that sustains them. No. إِلَّا حَمِيمًا وَغَسَّاقًا وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Hamim is boiled water, hot water. Imagine they're burning and when they're thirsty, what they're given? Boiled water, hot water. وَغَسَّاقًا صَدِيدُ أَهْلِ النَّارِ. The pus of the people of the fire. When people get burnt, usually it became pussy after a while. And the pus is basically an infectious fluid, disgusting, nasty smell. Imagine the taste. That's what they're going to drink. And that's in Jahannam. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. جَزَاءً وِفَاقًا. جَزَاءً وِفَاقًا. Basically, this result, this thing they're getting, the punishment they're getting, is what they deserve. It's perfect for them. They're getting what they deserve for not believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not following Prophets, peace be upon them's order, and not obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and following the religion that He sent to them, and not believing in the day of judgment and with the reward and the punishment. That's the perfect punishment for them, the one that they deserve. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا لَا يَرْجُونَ حِسَابًا. Why are they getting the punishment they deserve and the horrible punishment? Because they were not expected to be judged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They did not expect that. They weren't expecting